I was just saying the Ty Young thing was dope. I think the Ty Young comparison would be definitely dope. Like I said, personality is everything, and something I wish the WNBA would work on.
She's also like starting to get more mainstream. Like the company I work for, Bleacher Report, like BR Kicks did a whole, like she showed her sneaker closet, which is like insane. It ended up being like 10 minutes long, but like, and she's not even signed to a sneaker, like she doesn't have a sneaker contract, which like seems to work in her favor now because she literally can just wear whatever she wants. But yeah, she literally is PJ Tucker, WNBA, and I think she's getting more shine now, mainstream media. But yeah, fashion and shoes has been an awesome way for the WNBA to become more mainstream, like League Fits, Arrival. Like WNBA just started doing Arrival photos, like the players really showcasing their personality, I feel like, recently.
When you talk about your careers, and I know most of us do not do this full time, but what has been, your experience in terms of your career covering the W? What has it done for your career?
I think like for me, it's really allowed me to get out there kind of. And I don't think of it as like a stepping stone because like I said, like I enjoy shooting WNBA more than NBA, but like I used to work for the Lynx, so I have connections and like meeting athletes and being able to tell their story is just like been huge for me to grow as a photographer while I can like try to bring like more eyes to the league, I guess.
For me, I don't know if it's really done anything. Like I haven't measured or paid attention as much to see like, how different things that I shoot might have impacted my career in a way. I think locally, I get to kind of see people a little bit more that are a bit higher up as far as, Nike reps and, like the DJ that does the DJing for the Sparks. He also does it for USC. So, just being in connection and getting out and kind of seeing the faces that are kind of consistent across the board. I think the biggest thing maybe would be the relationship with the players, actually getting to know them and that turning into other things. I have a great relationship now with their assistant coach, Dash. So I've been helping him do some stuff kind of on the side and then individually with the players when he's training them during the off season. So I think that's probably something that I can tangibly say kind of transitioned from shooting the WNBA. But I don't, like I said, for me, I haven't really measured it to know. I know that my personal impact has helped with Made for the W, which has helped obviously grow, putting eyes on it, but individually, I'm not sure what it has done for me. So.
Yeah, for me, I would say just like consistency. That's always been a thing for me. And also just appreciating the sport of basketball more. Like I said, I've been doing the NBA. The NBA I had been doing a long time. So like 10 years of NBA work was kind of like, it's repetitive. The opportunities are there, but it's not really there. But with the WNBA, I see like I have more access to do things, like you said, being on the floor, being able to shoot on the floor. Learning, like I said, the importance of fandom. Like, I think the thing with the NBA, it lacks in, like, the actual fans in the crowd. Like, the WNBA fans, I always make a joke. The WNBA fans, the courtside fans, are the rowdiest fans I've ever met. They jump up and down. It's not the wine sippers or the so-called rich people that are always in the front row. They just want to look cool and be seen on camera. But, like, the WNBA, man, like, when I look at the fans, like, I know some people who work 9-to-5 jobs were able to get, like, WNBA courtside seats. And, like, they were jumping up and down screaming the whole time. And I'm like, man, you go to the NBA game, you don't see it. So I think for me, the appreciation of the game and just, like, the art of, like, doing media, different things, having certain boundaries that you only can go through, but you learn how to, like, elevate your game by doing interviews out in public. Like, a lot of times in the NBA, my interviews in the locker room, so it's closed in. But when I interview a lot of these players now in the WNBA, I'm in the midst of a crowd of people already. Like, there's fans there. So you have to adjust. And I think that, like, I think that's a dope concept. And like I said, yeah, appreciation of the sport for me is like the number one thing. It's really helped me out because, like I said, the NBA is repetitive for me, so used to it. But the WNBA always gives me like a breath of fresh air. So yeah.
Now, last question before I let you guys go. What is your dream assignment in the W if you have one? If you don't have one that's in the W, then go ahead and give me that
I have a dream job that I wish I could have did like in the past. If they can that count?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's easy for me then. All right, so I would have loved to cover the Olympics in '96 for the women's. I mean, just seeing like all those players downstate, like I can't imagine. Like I tell you this all the time. Like I thought it was crazy. So like I've actually covered the USA basketball team, but it's cool. But man, imagine a team that like has like Lisa Leslie, Dawn Staley. I'm talking about the best of the best. And if I could have a dream opportunity, I would say definitely cover the women's side of basketball in the U.S. Olympics. I think that would be, or the Olympics in general. I'm sorry. I think that would be very fun. I don't know how my wing is going to be looking these days, but they're getting young and they're getting better. I would like to cover WNBA finals for once. Let's make that happen somehow. I know that's probably a dream, and oh my God, like look at these two ladies. They cover the Sparks and stuff out there, so they probably like, yeah, we'll be there next year. Like I haven't had the opportunity yet. Like I said, I've covered the NBA finals before several times. That was pretty cool. I've never covered the WNBA finals. I haven't even done the WNBA All-Star Weekend, which I got to do that now. Like I have to.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to. Like, I've already made that clear to like several PR people. Like, look, I'm coming to one. Don't worry. But yeah, if I had a dream opportunity, if I could reverse time, it would definitely be. I would say either the 2000 Olympics or '96. Because like I said, seeing Dawn Staley's like one of my favorite players ever. So Dawn Staley, Lisa Leslie obviously is an icon in basketball, not just women's basketball, just all the players that were on the floor at that time. Cheryl Swoops. I mean, come on, y'all. Like, that's like, man, could you imagine covering that? Like, that was to me, like, I don't like to go back in nostalgia, but the glory years of like basketball, when you had, like, there's a lot of talent now, but we probably had never seen that much talent at once, especially in their primes together. Like, a lot of times, like, like Tarazi, even though she's great and she's all-time great, arguably the best female basketball player ever, if you put Tarazi on the team now with Cambage, it sounds cool, but it's not like you're getting Tarazi when she was like peak Tarazi. Like that was crazy. But you had that on that WNBA or that USA team. I mean, it was so many people that got left off that team because it was so deep. So yeah, for me, that would be my dream. Like I to this day, I'm very upset that I wasn't born years ago. Maybe that was a good thing because I would probably want to be like too hip to like some of the technology features that we have. But man, if I could go back, I actually have a jersey, a USA jersey from that time. So I got lucky on that too. I don't even. That was an eBay deal. So yeah, that would definitely be my dream. That today is like my number one dream job. So yeah.
Okay.
I'll go. I think dream. I think one, it would be dope to shoot All-Star Weekend, but I think that's something that's fairly attainable. I think a dream that I would have would definitely be shooting the Olympics, whether it be in the past or the present Olympic team. That's huge. Like, I mean, on any level, that's crazy. No matter the players they put together, like being able to document something like that is so close to like the greatest achievement that you can have. You know what I mean? And then I think the second thing would be to probably follow a team from start to finish throughout their season, assuming that team will make it to the WNBA finals. I think it would be really dope to have kind of that insight to seeing the team, seeing how players interact with one another, seeing the coaches, like seeing the day-to-day, seeing them in the training room, and all these different things leading up to like that big final moment for them. I think that would be dope. I mean, obviously everyone's been watching The Last Dance with the Bulls, so you kind of get to see like a great, along with like his other teammates that we don't talk about enough, and kind of seeing what that experience was like. I think it would be really dope to do something like that for the WNBA. We just don't get to see their lives outside of, watching the game on TV or, for some of us being able to take photos. We don't get to see them enough and what that journey is like being a WNBA player.
Yeah. For me, I think I wish, like in the past, I started my internship with the Lynx right after they won the championship, like literally the day after. And it was the one where Prince invited them to his place and gave him a private concert. And my boss actually told me I could go to that, but my first day was the next day, so I was like, I didn't earn this. Like, I didn't start covering the team at the beginning of the season, so I didn't go, and that's probably my like biggest regret about that. But like, also, I would have liked to, be with the team from start to finish that season when they won, because I came in the year after, where obviously they were still amazing. I got to witness like that insanely stacked dynasty team. But yeah, I wish I would have been able, one, because I was doing social for them, so I wasn't shooting games yet, but so I wish I would have the experience that I have now during that time, so that I could have, in addition to live tweeting games, shot the team and covered it from start to finish. And then for the future, I'm going to put it out there because it's like my dream, but my dream job would be to run the social for the W, because like, yeah, photography is my passion, but I do social for Bleacher Reports. I'm live tweeting and doing all that, and I just think that there's a lot of untapped potential there, and a lot of the people that they hire, most of them, so they do contracts, so most of them are people who are doing contracts with the NBA, who are just in it for the NBA, and then they move them over and have them cover the W too, so they don't know as much about the league. And I would love, like, the stuff I'm doing on the side, like following around players as much as I can and like trying to tell a story that way. I think the W has a big enough following on social where they could tap into that. And if I could do like mini stories with players, like photo essays, and just like, the league itself hasn't really tapped into that. They seem to like market the same 5 players, and we know who they are, and like don't really give any signs to the rest of their league. And I think that there's so much, it frustrates me. Like, I love the league, but yeah, that's my dream job eventually. So I'm gonna put that
Well,
out.
I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Nah, man, like they need help, and it's not even saying that as someone who shoots and kind of knows like some inside. It's like, as a consumer, like we just don't get enough marketing from them. And they don't tell enough stories about the entire league. Like you said, it's just those 5 players consistently, and it's like there's so much more to the league. And what's unfortunate is that, as an athlete who came up and didn't want to go to the WNBA, like that's like a terrible feeling. When you look back in retrospect, like growing up, I never wanted to go to the WNBA because it wasn't marketed enough. You didn't know, like if the league was something sustainable. You didn't know if it was worth doing versus, going overseas. Both of my older brothers, my sister-in-law, all of them went overseas, made good money. So like for me, like that's what I knew. And you think about these kids coming up nowadays, and like we have the opportunity to really show them that the league is worth being something that they should want to go to and play in. But if you don't market it, why would someone want to play in the WNBA? You know what I mean? Like, we want to try to attract more and more girls to play. We want girls to start getting better and better earlier and earlier. Like, if you look on the guys' side, like kids are training at like 4 and 5 now because they want to go to the NBA when they get older, which to me I think is a domino effect, because then you have so many talented athletes to be able to make up a league of 32, 34, 36 teams. Like the WNBA, 12 teams, like it's unbelievable, but there's so much talent out there. And I think it has to start with the WNBA. That responsibility can't be on everyone else to say, hey guys, look at the W, look at the W. I think now it needs to be on them. Like, what are you guys going to give us as consumers? What are you guys going to give us as athletes to be able to say and stand firm, like, this is an amazing league. So I think that's dope, and hopefully you get that opportunity. Someone takes after that.
Yeah, I would say another dream job for me, and I think we talked about this before we got started, was I want to be like, we're looking at this Bulls documentary, right? It's a great documentary, obviously. But I would like, well, I'm probably going to put this out there. Somebody will do it eventually. But I would like to be the person who creates the Houston Comets documentary. Because we don't, when you think about the story of the WNBA, my thing is like, okay, how does this work? How do you explain to a younger basketball fan that, hey, there was this team that won the first 4 championships in the WNBA, and we don't even know about it? Like, because there's no kind of like, and that's something with the WNBA that I have my gripes with, because retro gear, have the retro gear. I would like to be somebody that, you know, can get, you know, the Lisa Leslie jersey inside the arenas. You know, when you come to Dallas, it's not going to be many for the Wings because there's no retro, unless case you use the Tulsa effect or like Seattle does Oklahoma City kind of thing. But yeah, man, like I would like the opportunity to like live that story, like tell people that story about, you know, they had Cynthia Cooper, Tina Thompson, you know, Cheryl Swoops. They had a team. You know, that was an unreal. Now that you think about it, that team was unreal, and we don't even know how like they got put together, how it came to be. And I think that like you're talking about Hall of Fame potentially. We named 3 of the greatest players to probably ever touch a basketball, just in basketball in general. And I think that like I would like to be the person to tell the story, like, you know, have an ESPN 30 for 30, like about the Houston Comets, or just about the WNBA, the rise of the WNBA, the beginning of the WNBA, because I think the story has to be told. Because there's no story backline. Like, think about it. NBA has a history where they can say, well, Naismith did this, and here's the 70s, the merger with the ABA, NBA. Well, here's the Celtics versus Lakers, Magic and Bird. And then here comes Isaiah. Michael Jordan shows up. Oh, well, never mind. Here comes Kobe Bryant and Shaq. And, you know, they can tell the history, but WNBA is like, where do you start? You know, and to me, like, I think the Comets deserve a lot more praise when it comes to dynasty aspects. And that's something that I've always wanted to do, is like, it takes money. And I think Diane Taurasi kind of brought the point. Where all these rich people at now when we can get a documentary about this WNBA. I think it'd be pretty dope that we can get like money, the funding for it, and get the right people to write about it. Because I'm pretty sure all the players would love to be involved. And I would like to see what Teresa Witherspoon thinks today. You know, like going back when she was on Rebecca Lobo, like her obstacles, having the injuries later in her career. You know what I mean? Like just different things that like I would love to see that. And we don't see enough of that, man. Like, I don't even think there's a such thing as I've never seen an ESPN 30 for 30 about a WNBA team. Have y'all?
Maybe like the Women of Troy. That's what it was called, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, like, it's the perfect time because now that, you know, that's out.
Yeah.
That's like the first step.
Yeah. But I think it would be dope, man, because like a lot of people don't know. I made a tweet, and I tweeted out, this is probably arguably the most underrated dynasty ever. And it was a picture of the Houston Comets, the main big 3 with the championship trophy. And I remember I could post a picture of like LeBron's kicks like the night before, or I could post a picture about random kicks or like something that's coming out. I nearly didn't get half of the retweets that I got for that comment. That comment one blew up for me. Like, people everywhere on that. And it's like, I had a kid come in my DMs and ask me, is this a real team? So I was like, wow. And that's amazing that they don't exist. And that's a story in itself right there. How did this end up being where the team that won the most championships in the 90s don't exist? Like, they don't exist. There's the NBA teams right now that hadn't won anything. They're still above water, right? But the Houston Comets can't be around. And I think that's part of my gripe with basketball in general, how we pick and choose how to watch it and what to watch. And I think that's unfortunate because the women's side get the low end of that. Like, the Comets weren't doing good financially, so we need to get rid of them. I'm sorry, there was plenty of NBA teams that suffer. I'm sorry, the Clippers had to get sold to get right. The New Orleans Pelicans were crap. They were owned by the NBA. Thank the Chris Paul trade and all that stuff. So why not? I mean, we need to hear the story, the rise of the Comets, and also the fall. What happened? Why would this great team all of a sudden not exist? And it's weird that, when we think about dynasties, we talk about those Minnesota teams. We talk about the Sparks. We talk about Phoenix. I hardly ever hear anything about the Comets. It's so weird how we skipped over that. And not we, like us, but general basketball fans would not mention anything about the Comets when it comes to basketball dynasties. Like, I get asked all the time, who's the greatest basketball dynasty? I would say, well, you got Bulls, you got Celtics, Lakers, 80s. But what about those Comets? Who? I'm like, really? We back to that point. So, yeah, man, I want to be the first person to, like, bring a real documentary to, like, back TV about women's professional basketball, because it's good to talk about college and all that. Cool, we can talk about Cheryl Miller in college and what she did, but I really want to talk about the WNBA. But then there's Tina Thompson, who may be arguably the most decorated when it comes to certain things, when it comes to professional side of women's basketball. She doesn't get that much love. She's kind of like the Robin in a way, right? But she's very skilled, very good. So I would like for people to know who Tina Thompson is. A shout out to her getting the coaching.
And she was marketable back then. She had the red lipstick and like, bro, that could have made her some money.
Yeah, because that's how the players are now. Like I look at the wings, like personally, Isabel Harrison. She's almost supermodel. Okay, I tell her this all the time as a joke. I said, when you're done playing basketball, you really probably should be a supermodel. She started laughing. I said, you could. You're perfect for that. You like to dress up. You do the fashion thing, like you said. When you ladies are taking pictures of them walking in the tunnel, she'll pose perfectly and everything for the picture. She makes sure her aesthetic looks good. And I think that's awesome. And like, that's personality.
And that's my thing. Like at the end of the day, I would like to see, obviously, not just more players in front of the camera, but behind the camera too, because I understand the politics and how a lot of this works now, being on the other side. And I think that's where a lot of us understand it from perspective of, you kind of go from the fandom to actually when you're working behind the scenes and behind the lens, you understand how some of these politics work and why there's not a Houston documentary out yet. And you're kind of like, okay, well, I know this is going to take a little bit more time than I thought it would. And I'm hoping that players like Isabel Harris not only, not only models, but they're building an empire, kind of like with Skylar Diggins-Smith, where she's also sitting at the table, you know what I'm saying, making decisions, because I think sometimes when it comes to being a female athlete, people often look at it from a perspective of putting them in front of the camera, allowing them to, model. And I'm thinking to myself, I would like to see Ty Young be a creative director of a sneaker company, or, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, in my mind, I'm like, she can put more players in front of a camera, but she can also give more players access to the decisions when it comes to sneakers or apparel or, even content that they're putting out, because that requires money. And so for me, I think it's a whole nother discussion within itself though. And I definitely hope we are having those discussions behind the scenes. I know a lot of us are. I wish more of us would. So as we wrap up, I just want to know, kind of go around, let people know where they can find your content. So I want people to be tuned in and check you out. Social media, websites, just let them know what you got. I'm going to go with Janine first.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter _TheRealJWill. Also my website, www.dahdesigns.com. I have a ton of my photo work on there, not just basketball. And then also my Hoopflix content is on there. And then Instagram, Hoopflix with a Z, you can follow. And I curate a lot of different photography there for people that shoot basketball specifically. So.
Me?
I didn't know that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty dope stuff.
I am on Instagram and Twitter, MURRMINKS. It always sounds weird to say together, so I'll just spell it out. Recently created a website, meredithminkophotography.com, and got sports stuff on there, but also all the other stuff that I do. Just trying to build all those things. Still kind of new, but taking notes from people and building portfolio and website and all that.
All right. And let people know about your charity. I know that some of your the proceeds to some of your work go to charity.
Mine?
Yes.
Yeah. My dad taught me photography. He died of a brain aneurysm like 6 years ago. So I started selling prints a couple months ago, giving half of it to that, and then recently switched over to like some mental health charities. Hopefully I'll do another wave with like coronavirus stuff. But yeah, I kind of felt weird taking people's money, so tried to find like causes that are close to my heart that I could kind of give money to as well.
Thank you. All right. Finally, Chris.
Oh yeah, y'all can just search. I tell people all the time, make it easy. Just search that C Hendo name there. Yeah, like I said, if you like sneakers, like gaming, I'm always around those parts. I try to stay active on YouTube with the interviews. WNBA players, NBA players. Um, you can find me on Instagram the same way, C Hendo. My website is chendo.com. Yeah, I'm everywhere, man. Like I said, if you ever have any sneaker questions or anything like that, or try to find some shoes I make and help you out, depends on the shoe. That's really my specialty, video games and sneakers and stuff like that. So yeah, I just followed everybody, make sure I'm on everybody's websites and everything got them saved in. So yeah, like I said, you can go to my website. Like I said, if you have any like questions, when I do my interviews, I do them live. So a lot of players see the questions that fans ask. You got to make sure the fans get their questions out. So, of course, be appropriate at the same time. Yeah, because I gotta go through like 800 questions sometimes, but I try to make sure the fans have a say in certain things that I do as well. So, yeah, you can find me in those platforms, and like I said, during the summer times, I like to go to different like charity events and do different things. So, like, if you ever see me at a sneaker events, typically due to charity, they do a lot of charity events at these sneaker events. So, definitely, man. My guy Travis Singleton does this thing, Kicks for Graves. I kind of want to get involved with that with him. So we'll be definitely down the road talking about that. But yeah, chendo.com, chendo everywhere.
Again, thank you all for being on today. I know how busy the three of you are, but love your content, love your authenticity, and I love your passion. So thank you again for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you too, and your content.
Thank you. And y'all be sure to follow her as well. I'm letting you guys know right now. Don't let her fool y'all and think that she knows a lot about kicks too. So you don't have to go to me all the time. I'm gonna start just sending everybody to her because she knows her stuff too. I'm not crazy. I go to games and I see her something, she'll point and say, I know what those are. So she knows her stuff too. So y'all be sure to embrace all these, women in here that, that are doing big things. I think that we need to not separate women and men in the journalism world. We need to say they're just journalists. And I think that we need to embrace all of them, subscribe to everything that these ladies are doing because I'm a fan. Like I said, a couple of you ladies I already follow on social media. So yeah, it's gonna be a big deal, man. I think that the future's bright for all you ladies. Like I said, y'all kind of know what y'all want to do, and I think we as a community can make the WNBA bigger because sometimes the brands don't see it like we do, and we can be those like that stepping stone that gets it there. So keep doing what y'all doing, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I need to come to Dallas, see you guys, go to a Wings game. Hopefully it will happen this summer.
Yeah. Yeah, if it happens, yeah.
Hey, if nothing else, next summer we got you. Southern Hospitality will take good care. You might leave with 5 pounds heavier, sis, but you gonna be good. You gonna be good. Yo. Yeah, y'all take care. Y'all be safe. And thank you again for being on. Again, appreciate it, everybody. Need, Meeks, Hendo, appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you guys.
This was awesome.